Down by the street where the old men go, where the trees grow tall and the vines hang low. The scent in the air that makes your nose go wild like a all-cooked cherry pie. There's a girl down there who loves to rock and roll, guitar in her hands playing Rolling Stones. Drums and dances, that's a half fly free and a dreamland fantasy. I love the way she dances, like a bird she flies. Her hair enhances the bright blue sky, like a 12-gauge shotgun. She's a young man's dream, a perfect vision down by the street.
All right.
Hello.
Well, we are back. We are back doing another episode.
It's another Sunday night
Yeah.
down by the stream. New theme song, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. We may have to hit up our buddies in De Novo Boulevard and have them do another version of it. Or we can just do it ourselves. I don't know.
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
We'll see.
Yeah. So welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Down by the Stream. We are your awesome hosts. I am Ramiro.
And I'm Chelsea. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those, and re-listen on Spotify. Trying to get to 100 listeners over there, so would really love your support. And then if you're able to, not necessary, but if you want to pitch in financially to help us buy some new stuff, because I know there's a buzz going on right now. Anyways, yeah, there's a link in our on our Spotify and on our Anchor and the description in this video. No pressure though, just share it with your friends. That's more than enough. Anyways, let's dive in.
Yeah. So few topics that we got going on today, and it's kind of a little all over the place.
We're always all over the place.
Yeah. So this past week, or this past, let's say when was it? It's 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We did something that I didn't think we would do. But I'm actually really proud that we've been sticking to it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it's been kind of tough. So
You're going to tell people what we're doing?
yeah. So
or what we're not doing, I guess.
I know, right? So we decided to not drink during Lent. For those of you who don't know what Lent is, not to get into any of the religious portions of it, because it is more of a Catholic thing to do. But that being said, also don't want to make this about religion. It's mainly more of a challenge to yourself, to just, I guess, something, for yourself, to something to work on.
So we stopped drinking.
Yeah. So what Lent essentially is...
It's like a dry January, I guess is what we're doing, but we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Except I am going to drink some champagne. I'm going to drink some champagne when I shop for wedding dresses. I've made that an exception. So
yeah,
it's okay.
Well, and there's some caveats to certain things, but what Lent essentially is you give something up for from the start of Ash Wednesday, which is the day right after Mardi Gras, to
Fat Tuesday,
to Easter. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name. And so you give it up for that entire time. There's other things that I do because I am Catholic, but she's just doing the no drinking portion of the whole thing. Yeah,
he likes to do the no meat on Fridays, but so he'll eat fish, and I don't eat fish, so I just eat whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do a compromise of something. Like if I'm making steak or I'll make her a steak and I'll eat salmon, or we'll do like chicken Alfredo and I'll do shrimp or something like that. And
yeah, it's been fun. Make it work.
Yeah, and just kind of gives it a little bit of a different change of things and stuff. And I love seafood. Seafood's like my whole family loves seafood, so being able to incorporate a little seafood here and there is always nice, at least on my end, because I get to take care of those small cravings and stuff.
You guys, hopefully the camera doesn't die. If it does, we might have to do like crappy quality through the regular webcam.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
But the whole thing is just to really test yourself to see, can I do this? Can I go this amount of time without, whatever you decide to choose? And it can be anything. And every year I end up posting it on my Facebook to just open it up to anybody. Somebody who is either looking to stop drinking, somebody who's looking to stop smoking, any sort of something that you feel is out of your everyday life. It's technically supposed to be something that is very near and dear to you, or something that is very important to you.
Very near and dear.
I know, right?
Wine.
I know, right?
I could just give up wine, not alcohol, but that's terrible.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing, is to really kind of push it as far as you can possibly go, and not be able to break, essentially. So, I used to always do like either soda or candy or junk food or what have you, and just leave it at that. But then, I'm trying to meet some fitness goals before the wedding, but I'm also like, can I actually just kind of test myself to be able to keep from the temptations of being around drinking or being around people who drink? Like,
and all the beer in the fridge.
Yeah, right. And I just bought a gigantic case of that black cherry hard soda.
Yeah.
So,
and it's in the garage.
But the good thing though is to be able to kind of overcome that kind of gives you a little bit more of a mental strength to be able to be like, no, like, I don't need that, or I don't need to do that, and be able to just kind of move forward. Yeah,
I went out with the salon after our photo shoot last Monday. Is that when it was?
I think.
And
so.
I ordered a virgin mojito, and that was freaking good.
Well, I mean, the first night that we decided to, or the first night of, or when Ash Wednesday was that first Wednesday, we went out and had food with a bunch of the old JBA guys, and the camera just went out. So hold on a second.
Oh no, I'm sorry, you guys. Last time it worked.
So here, we'll just do this real fast.
It's not going to be super pretty, but sorry, YouTube.
There you go. That
Whatever.
works.
Okay.
Yeah. But so the biggest thing is that we went out, and then we were having some drinks with some friends, and then everybody was drinking, and they're like, hey, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you doing anything? And we told them, and they're like, oh, you sure you don't want some or whatever? And I mean, teasing us a little bit, but which was fine.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was another time that we went out around people that were drinking.
Yeah.
And didn't drink.
And
I ordered a lavender lemonade that day. That was really good.
And I got a black cherry regular soda, which was really good too.
Yeah. Nailed it.
But the big thing though is like it's is a big test. So, I mean, if you're looking to start something as far as like wanting to, I know a lot of people do it to stop smoking or even just reduce drinking. I think that can go a long way, or just reducing a lot of stuff and being able to help kind of kickstart yourself. So I guess I'm just
reducing it since I am breaking the rules a little bit.
Yeah, but I think, at the same time though, like if we didn't have these things going, I feel like you would still be, you wouldn't be drinking that day.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
But just like my little brother's birthday, if we like the plan, we're thinking of going to Vegas in our next few weeks. But if we end up going, that's got to be an exception too. Like,
but we're gonna be racing most of the time, so it's not like we'll be doing a whole lot of drinking, anyways.
Yeah, and the other thing, the other thing on top of that is, like, it's okay to like kind of move around a bit, because it shouldn't be so strict. Like, no, like you can't, like, I don't believe that it should be that way.
I'm sure some people would disagree with you, but oh no, I scratched my Apple Watch. Wow, I'm all over the place. Sorry.
But yeah, so that's what we've been doing. So and the thing too is like, if you wanted to start something too, I think it's 21 to 24 days or 25 days or something like that to form a habit. So it's never too late. You want to learn a new language. You want to, start reading
I actually think
books.
that's false about the 21 days to create a habit. But that's a whole other topic we could bring up in another week.
Okay. I mean, I feel it's kind of right because that's kind of how long it took for me to start getting into the motion of
Well, I feel like when
going
you're
to the gym. But
I just feel like when you're forming,
yeah,
it's different for everybody. And I feel like at the end of the day, you just got to kind of take it day by day when you're making those big changes in your life, or not so big changes day by day.
Yeah. But, oh yeah, I mean, that is true. But I think at the same time, like, it's the good place to start.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with that.
You're talking about a month and a half's worth of time.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't formed a habit around that time, then you definitely are not trying hard enough to form that habit, I feel. Because, like, there has to be a point. Like, I could understand with 2 or 3 weeks, but a month and a half.
I went to the gym for like 4 months with you, and then I just straight up stopped.
Fair. I guess that's true.
It was a habit, and then it wasn't. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's different for everybody. It was hard to get up at 6 a.m., and I work out at home now, but I still don't work out as much as I want to, but
yeah.
I'm getting better.
But it's a good
day at a time.
Spot. It's a good spot to
That's what I'm
kind of
going
just
with.
teach yourself, or to get started on something.
Yeah.
So we invite you all to. I mean, it doesn't even have to be for Lent. I mean, it's a good time to start. It's already a few weeks in, so I would say it's never too late to start. But if you're trying to follow the actual time of it, it's kind of a little too late at this point. But
That's okay, though.
yeah. But that being said, though, like I mentioned,
It's just another way to kick off your New Year's resolutions
I mean, I guess
for the people that didn't stick with them.
if they want to restart it, I guess.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
As long as you get back up when you fall off, I feel is the important part of any changes in your life.
Yeah. Because I'd rather I guess I'd rather see somebody who really wants to try and change themselves, like keep not necessarily failing, but keep trying.
Yeah,
than just
exactly.
stop altogether and then
Exactly.
they're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore, or I'd give up. I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah.
But like when I was mentioning too, like going to Vegas is a very tough one, especially like if we decide to do something for my little brother's birthday. Like, yeah, we're gonna go racing, but we're also gonna go and celebrate his birthday. So there is that point of being able to, you just know when certain things happen or celebrations happen. Kind of like what I was doing, like what I was mentioning this year is that I plan not to drink beer this entire year. It's just a personal thing I want to do just to see if I can do it. But I'm also not going to be like, if we're going to go somewhere and that's all they have, or we go to a party and that's all they have, or what have you, like I'm not going to be like, well, I can't drink. Or
There are exceptions to the rule, I guess. I feel like in your case, you're like, but if we're celebrating, that's fine, like special occasions.
Yeah.
But the point that I guess you're trying to make for yourself is to not just be sitting on the couch drinking all day
Exactly.
because there's beer in the fridge on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though that's what we do anyway, but because it's Sunday.
We sat on the couch, but we did not drink beer all day.
Well, yeah, not today, but I mean, what we do outside of out of this year's Lent, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking,
Feeling good though.
Yeah, but speaking about going places, so we've got a pretty jam-packed year this year for the most part. So we're thinking about going to Vegas. It's still it's more on the confirmed we're going side instead of it being tentative. But
Is it confirmed now?
we have to still get our tickets.
But you're taking that Friday? We're going?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
But we're going to Vegas, and then we're going up to Yosemite to go check out some venues for a wedding. So that's exciting.
He puts exciting in quotes. Exciting.
No, I was like, that's exciting. I didn't do this. There was none of this. There was no air quotes. This was just like, it's exciting, because I didn't know what to do with my hands. And then we're going to Cancun, which was a trip previously done like from last year that we had to push back to this year.
Yeah.
But outside of like where I have two different topics.
Okay.
So I have that topic and then two subtopics. So the first one is on your current budget, where would you want to go? Like, what place would you like to travel to?
On my current budget, where would I like to travel to?
Yes.
My bedroom. I don't. On a budget would be, nowhere.
Like, you didn't have huge bills or anything, but what you could afford to do now. Like, someone was like, if you had like, hey, I actually have some money, I want to go here, where would you go?
I don't know. Where would you go? Let me think about it. You first.
Okay. So I actually would want to go to like either Nashville or like Colorado.
Colorado's a good one.
Just because
I want to go to New Orleans.
Just because I'd like to like go and like see like some like new places.
Uh-huh.
But also like obviously like the music scene out there is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go either Tennessee or Colorado. New Orleans would be good. Like that would be a really good place to go.
And Sue said she'd be glad to make it next door. See, she gets it. She she gets me.
Well, Frank said Tahiti, so dang, Frank, you making the big bucks over there, man.
Yeah, that was part 2. Well, yeah, but you're making money.
Okay, so let me change it then. No budget whatsoever. Someone says, I will fly you wherever you want to go. Where would you go?
Like Iceland or Germany.
Iceland or Germany?
Yeah. You know, like those commercials where it's like the Iceland cruise and they're like, they go past Iceland and they're like in the jacuzzis and there's like snow and ice everywhere. Like, I want to do that.
Okay. All right. It's nice.
Or like, I'd really like to go to Dublin.
Dublin?
Yeah.
That's a left field one for me. I never figured you'd want to go to Dublin.
Why?
Because you've never mentioned Dublin before.
Does Germany?
Well, Germany, yeah, but...
Dublin is in Germany.
Oh, duh. But no, I thought you would figure...
Like Greece or something?
No, I figured like
I'd
if you want to go to
there.
Germany, like...
I mean, you want to see the mountains and like hike and stuff, but I mean, also beer. I mean, well, you can't just like not go to Dublin if you go to Germany.
I don't know. I'd take Carlos with me and I'd just go to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, which is... I have no idea where it actually is. The traditional Oktoberfest that they have over there, where the beer is warm.
Yeah, I'm going to Google this.
Which is interesting. I don't know if I could do warm beer. Okay, so Iceland or Germany. Okay. Now
It's held annually in Munich, Bavaria.
That's it, Munich. I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Where would I go? That's a good question.
This is your topic. You were ready for the budget, but you weren't ready for the no budget.
No, because if I had no budget, it would be multiple places. Like I'd love to go see a bunch.
I also really want to go to Bali. Actually, we could go to Bali on our budget. All you got to do is buy the plane ticket, but Gabby said it's like really cheap once you get there. So we should do that.
Well, for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bali it is.
I guess I would like to go to
Aunt Sue said the moon. That's
The
good.
moon.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'd like to go to like either Sweden or somewhere up in the northern part of Europe to see the northern lights.
Oh, well, you could also do that in Alaska.
Nah, Alaska's got too many UFOs over there
Oh, okay.
when you get abducted.
What if all the UFOs are just the northern lights? No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't make any sense.
If all the UFOs were northern lights, that'd be...
People are just like crazy.
Yeah.
No, but I would like to go to like Sweden too.
Like somewhere
Since
up
that's
there.
where I'm from. Well, not me personally, but
Well, that's your heritage.
Swedish, yeah,
Yeah.
heritage.
I'd like to go see the northern lights and like go do the whole thing where you're like kind of like the same idea what you're talking about, but you're on a mountainside and like you're at like a campfire and like you can see the northern lights and you can see down the mountain and there's just a bunch of small fires around and,
That'd be so cool.
and like little cabins or
That'd be
whatever.
so cool.
Like that's what I would like to go do. Or I'd like to go to Japan. That'd be cool. Also go to like
Where is it?
Australia'd be fun.
What's the F1 race? Singapore. I want to see the Singapore F1 race.
Singapore or Morocco?
The one with the big boat on the top. Isn't that Singapore?
The big boat on the top.
Yeah, there's like, it's like this gigantic boat, like looking like structure, and it's like over like 4 hotels and it's all lit up. I'm pretty sure that's the Singapore one.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I'm going to Google it again.
It's
We're going to
probably
have to start like doing the screen share thing so that way you guys can see it.
I'd like to go if we're talking F1, I'd like to go see the Morocco race. But that would be absolutely
Yes.
insane.
It's the Marina Bay in Singapore. So it's across 3 hotels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it
I don't
kind of
know.
looks like a boat.
I don't know if you can see it. I tried to show you. But yeah, I want to go there.
To Singapore? That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Well, just ask Bill. Bill can take you.
I know,
knows
but
the
he told me
spots.
it's expensive there, but I don't know. I've heard both.
Oh, anywhere tourist is going to be expensive. Yeah. But that's where I'd like to mainly I'd like to go some like
So
either
which one do you
green-
want to go to? F1 race? Which F1 race did you say?
Morocco.
Morocco? Okay.
That'd be fun
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
just cuz it's so technical, but you have to literally be a millionaire to even go.
Yeah, they're very...
They're
Even going to the
expensive.
one in Vegas is expensive. But like if you spend just like a little bit more money, then you get like the food and drinks and stuff included, and it's the whole weekend pass. It's not just like one day, but
Yeah, it's like what 1,500.
I think it's like 1,200 or something
Yeah,
to get
and
like
that's not
the
even
VIP.
hotels.
Yeah, that's without the hotel, but it's for all 3 days, and it's included because you can get like one as low as like 500 that's standing room only and doesn't come with anything, but then you can get the standing room only but the deluxe ticket or something. I don't know, the deluxe package that includes food and drinks.
Yeah,
So it's not that bad
yeah.
because it's all 3 days of the weekend, so you get to be there for the qualifiers and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point you'd also be what the hotel room is about. It's going to be between 12 to 1,500.
If you're gonna stay on the strip, which I
It's
guess
probably
you
per
probably would want to.
Because from what I heard prior, that they had everything sold out already.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, and most of it is like already super expensive.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at like a $5,000 weekend.
Yeah.
Just in like that alone.
But that's cheap compared to us wanting to go to Morocco or Singapore.
well, yeah.
Sorry. Oh my God. I also yelled at the wrong dog. I didn't want him to run out.
He wasn't going to run out.
No, he did the other day.
He wasn't going to run out.
He did the other day. I'm telling you.
But I don't
He's
think he was.
psycho. I don't trust him to not run out yet.
Yeah, he'll be
Anyways,
fine.
new dog. Sorry, everybody. I'll fix that in post so nobody has to hear it that loud. My God, I panicked. No crying.
All right. So let's see here. I forgot what the other topic was. Oh,
On
okay.
audio.
speaking of those things, also the camera's still working, so that's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, it's still working.
Is it that one that's working?
I guess. I don't know. But all right.
No, it's not.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like it was.
Unless it like flipped back already.
Maybe. I don't know.
No,
But either
'cause
way.
okay, yeah, this is irrelevant. Oh my god, I need to cut this out. Okay.
Either way. So the other topic that I had was like when you start a new job or you go work somewhere, like obviously, especially if you don't know anybody, you kind of get to meet new people. You kind of get to see how the company really works, because anytime you start with a company, they'll tell you all the mumbo jumbo, and then all of a sudden it changes. Like they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, we're this type of company," blah blah blah. But then you really kind of see what kind of company they are.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't know if I really like what the company's doing, or I don't know if I like what they stand for, or I don't like their policies, or what have you. So, there's a little context. So, I was working for a company for about 8 years, and I just recently changed companies and started with a new company. And, you know, prior to that change, I was having a couple of people telling me, like, you know, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You think it's a good idea? You know, like they're a new company. You're going to be starting from the ground up. You're not going to have the same resources, all this stuff. But I also had other people saying like, yeah, good for you. You know, that company has changed, or that company is no longer the same, or what have you. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I've always thought to myself, I'm like, that's to a point that's correct. Like, yeah, I've been with this company for so long, and I am now no longer, in leaving. Do I leave because I don't like the company? Do I leave because I don't like the people? Where do you kind of stand? Like, I know some people who are diehard, loyal to a brand, and some people are diehard loyal to the people they work with.
Uh-huh.
I'm the type of person who, if the company takes care of me, I will I'll be loyal to that place.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But more so the people, because, companies just a name. It's the people who work there that drive it.
Yeah.
So the question is are you loyal to, what are you more loyal to, the company or the people? Like, depending on the job.
Well, in my case, like the company and the people are the same.
Yeah.
Because it is just like a small business. Mm-hmm. But then I also feel like I have loyalty to my clients.
Yeah.
Where like sometimes I'm like, if I ever quit the salon, I'm never going to do hair again. But then I feel like I'm going to feel guilty and I'm going to want to keep doing hair because of my clients.
Yeah.
And I know that happens to a lot of stylists and stuff like that do actually want to exit the industry, but then end up right back in it.
At what point do you kind of split yourself from that? Like,
I don't know.
Like, do you ever feel like there'll be a point that you're like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm done with this. And your clients come back and say, hey, I want to, I'll only go to you. I don't trust anybody else. Is there a point that you'll say like, no, I'm done? Like,
well, yes, ideally, I would recommend them to one of my coworkers, which is why I like being a part of a brand and a team, to have that loyalty too, because then I have people that I trust that I can send my clients to if and when I choose to make that step.
Yeah.
Because I'm certainly not going to do hair until I'm 80. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one, it's tough. It's tough on a lot of fronts, like your back, your hands. I mean, the chemicals you're exposed to.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot. For me, I've always been I'm loyal to a company. Like the shop, when I was working at the shop, like I love that place. I love the team that works there. I love everybody that works there. Obviously opportunities come up and you gotta take them how they come, but at the same time, like, it's the people who you work with every day that you get to see, what this company is really made from. And when a company gets too big, you kind of start losing sight of the overall bigger picture of that company.
The picture gets too big.
Yeah, because you're only able to see who you work with around you.
Yeah, of course.
Versus, some people are in the same room versus me, like, it's globally.
Yeah.
Or at least it was globally. Now it's just nationally. But
Right.
even nationally, it's that much smaller.
Significantly smaller company.
Yeah. So although the transition of going from one company to the other, I am working with some of the same people I used to work with because they also came over. But at the same time, like, it's not that I can't reach out and talk to those people who I used to talk to, because it's not like we moved. It's no different.
Yeah.
Like, nothing really changed other than I can't just, send them a message on Teams and say, hey, how are things going? Or
Right.
how are you, But at the same time, I feel there does have to be a point of separation when it comes to talking to those people who still work for that company, because to not get anybody in trouble or feel like there's secrets being told or proprietary information, like, it's tough to keep those relationships moving, because at the end of the day, those people still have those jobs. They're still working for that other company.
Right.
And I'm working for a new company, and no one wants to feel like they're...
Well, it's like before you moved over there, too.
Yeah.
You didn't know a whole lot until, like, you got there.
Essentially.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and right now, it's a big learning curve, but, being able to know who I work with, and thankfully the hotel's awesome. So it's made it.
Yes,
a
you're
lot
with the same
simpler.
team. You just have a different name on your shirt.
Yeah. Essentially.
And the higher ups are different, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I needed that body language to say higher ups.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, way, way different from what it was before. But that was a question that I was just more curious on, just on the end of like, because I know there are some people who don't really care about other people. They just care about their job. They care about the brand, and to move up and just get to where they need to get.
make their money, yeah.
Yeah, not so much. Hold on, my throat is super dry now. Do you have water?
I do.
Let me still some of your water. Hold on. Quick water break.
Okay, so...
There we go. Much better.
But it's also just like a different personality trait of like caring about like as every industry is different. I guess not every person's different. You will go into a job that doesn't really care about you, and you will still care and not burn bridges when you leave. I'm trying to carry the conversation while he's coughing out that.
I have no idea what's going on. That was super
where
weird.
there are other people out there that are just like, well, I found a job that's going to pay me more money, and then just up and leave.
Yeah.
So it just depends on like your personality type, your work ethic, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different for everybody, I think.
I know this is the first time we've talked about work ethic and all that stuff. A lot of it just really kind of dives down to, I guess, just trying to see what, because there is a lot, or I guess one of the other topics that we've been seeing lately is kind of how, I would say millennials and Gen Z people, not even to put it into generational thing, a lot of people are starting to not really care about their work. They're just, I'm just here to make money. And, the whole thing that we were watching earlier, the bare minimum Monday or whatever, or the silent quitting or what have you.
Bare minimum Monday.
But I think a lot of it goes down to, or the information I guess I'm just trying to find out is like, what is it that kind of people drive to do, or what
But I
drives
think
people.
too, you won't have those silent quitters if you have a company that respects you and your time and pays you properly and like lets you call in sick when you're sick and doesn't get mad at you for that and allows you to have vacation time. You know what I mean? Like I think when you work in a place that treats you good, you care about that company, you care about the people, and then you stay there.
Yeah.
I think caring about the people in the company can sometimes be the same unless the job just sucks and you don't care about the people or the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it just depends on the work environment.
Yeah. Yeah, and because I've seen it on both fronts, you know. I mean, I'm the type of person, like you said, like I could hate the place, but I'm gonna give it my 100%
Yeah.
until I'm able to find something that's a little bit better.
Right.
But even then, I could hate the place, but I could love the people.
Well, you can do that too. Yeah.
Perfect example was when I mean, I didn't hate working for Radio Shack, but I didn't like my boss. But I liked the two other guys, Tony and Nelson, that I was working with.
Yeah.
Like those guys were awesome, and so they made work fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've also like had situations where like I liked the people that I worked with, but I didn't like working with them. Like you're cool outside of work.
yeah,
But you don't do crap when you're in the doors. So can we fire you and just get drinks this weekend and get somebody else in your place that actually works?
yeah,
Oh my God, I have nightmares from other jobs that I'm not going to even like say on here. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, so
I mean, jobs from like over a decade ago is what I'm talking about, but nothing recent in case anybody's listening. Nothing recent, but yeah.
yeah, well, which is true, you know, like there's a lot of people like, you know, they just go in, clock in, and they're just there, and then they're like, all right, bye, and then they're awesome. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome outside of the
Yeah.
outside of the workplace.
Just don't want to work with them.
Which is really weird. Which is a really weird thing when you really think about it, just because it's like you would think they would want to push a little bit harder.
No,
But, you know.
not always though. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, well, for
Respect factor. Yeah.
like for your aunt and stuff, and I'd like to know, since they're watching, I'd like to know what have you seen at your work out of the younger generations, like, because we're only seeing our younger, but what do they see from their end? Do you feel like we are working less, or are we working more? Do you see a little bit of...
But that's just a blanket statementing our generation.
I mean, I wouldn't say our generation.
If you're
I
not
would-
respected, you're not.
You're not wanting to stay.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Yeah.
And that is truth. I guess, like, if you really... Because I've had a couple of jobs where, you know, like when I was working at... well,
Yeah,
I don't
mom
wanna-
says they don't want to work.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to... They want to find the easiest way to make money.
Yeah. That's why they're pitching pyramid schemes and crypto.
Yeah. The easiest way to make money, and they don't want to do anything. But I was working for this off-brand high-end retailer, and I was working there part-time, and I don't want to say the name of the place, but the people that were working there, some were cool, some were meh. Some, it was a little mixture of random people. Like, I mean, I don't even think I don't talk to any of them. I mean, I think on some of them, I still either follow them on Facebook, or I'm still friends with some of them on Snapchat or whatever.
This is the one you like invited them all to your house one day, right?
No.
From after graduation that you got?
No.
Or a different job? This is, you're not saying the name of it, so I don't know which one you're talking about.
No, this wasn't graduation at all. This was after.
Like after you graduated college. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That part-time retail job that you got after college.
Yes.
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 I did not like those people.
Wait,
say it.
I invited them
Yeah,
to the house.
that was when I met them, and there was this one person, and you were like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "No, these people are dicks." Anyways,
What
and I told you, I told you I didn't. You just wanted to hang out with everybody that you worked with. You had only worked with them for like a week, and you invited them all over, and I was like, "I do not like these people," and you were like, "No, they're cool," and I was like, "No, they're not."
I do not remember that whatsoever.
But also, like, it was like first time meeting people, so I could have been quick to judge, but they were not my people, and I'll leave it at that.
I don't even.
After I already said they're dicks, I already ruined it. But
I don't even
already said
remember.
too
I don't
much.
even remember this at all.
I do remember because I met them. That's why this
Yeah.
is turning into a really weird conversation.
Yeah, I don't even remember this.
I wonder if they're following you. Hopefully, they're not listening to this. Well,
I
you
don't-
didn't say which people, so it's fine.
Well, yeah. But
They might be cool now. I didn't.
I don't know.
I was also different back then too. So
But at the same time, like, the company was pretty garbage because they were like, "Oh yeah, you get great benefits, blah 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 blah," but then they were like, "Oh, but your benefits are you can get 10% off if you get our credit card." I'm like, "How's that a benefit? That's not benefiting anybody. That's 10%. Cool."
to put you in debt,
So yeah,
it's like stupid.
yeah.
That was a dumb benefit.
And I applied for it, and I didn't even get it.
Yeah, that's
Which,
and that's stupid.
at the time, my credit was immaculate, and I have no idea why they didn't approve me for it. But whatever, I'm okay with that. I didn't need that credit card anyway. But
Younger generation wants to pick their own hours and won't follow any rules. I did pick my own hours, but I do follow rules. Also in a different industry that allows me to do that. So there's that.
well, I think a lot of it too. So one of the guys at work mentioned, like, "Man, I want what you have." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "I want to be in an office and just kind of come in and do this." And I'm like, it may seem that I just come in and I just am here and I'm just like whatever, and then I leave and then that's it. I'm like, but you have to remember.
That's how I look at like our roommate when because he like kind of goes to work whenever and he comes home whenever. like like what it looks like on the outside, I'm sure is way because he's a freaking engineer. It's way different than what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Than the perception of what it looks like on the outside. Like I know I could not do something like that because I'm not smart enough for that. Well, I am. I don't want to.
Yeah,
Lazy millennial.
and that's the
It's
thing.
me.
And that's the thing is that it's like it's perceived to be one way, but you know,
There's hard work
I
that
know-
goes on the back end of it.
Exactly. It's like it's
like
not
me,
like
yeah.
I came out of nowhere and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna be doing this random stuff
Yeah.
randomly and just make this money." It's like, no, like it took me a while to get there.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to build yourself to get to a point where you're like, I'm okay with where I'm at and
Yeah.
happy with where I'm at and what I'm doing, so then I can move up and keep doing things. And, you know,
It was like me not working weekends. I could not do that at the beginning of my career. And now I'm down to 3 days and I don't work weekends.
yeah.
And like I'm making just as much as I was making when I was working 4 and 5 days at the salon,
Yeah.
if not more. But I had to get there. Like it didn't just happen overnight.
Exactly.
So,
And that's the one thing too that I feel
and
like
I still have to continue to bust my ass to make sure my books are full on those 3 days so it stays consistent.
yeah. And that's the one thing that I feel like is kind of getting lost as more and more time comes out. And I think a lot of it really comes down to just the amount of people who show this glorious life of, oh, look, I'm just making videos.
Oh,
and-
social media ruined a lot of that.
yeah.
And people want to be an influencer, but also behind that and behind being a content creator comes a lot of, I mean, we're lucky doing this podcast and it not like being a whole lot of effort because the way we do it, but we do want the production value to eventually go up. And if we start to make money from it, obviously I would like the production value to get better, but in order to make money and to see that, we have to put a lot of work in behind it to actually create that.
Yeah.
If you want to make consistent money on social media, you have to be constantly creating good content that people want to see more of.
Yeah.
It's all sunshine and rainbows on the outside, but it's those people work 24/7, and that's not fun.
Yeah. Because when I first started working, I mean, I was working, weekends, sometimes holidays, randomly my parents would show up and say, "Hey, we're coming this weekend," and I'd be like, "Well, I'm working, so sorry."
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this." I'm like, "I can't." "Well, can't you ask a day off?" I'm like, "No, because if you guys are telling me a week out, I can't do that." And they're like, "Oh, well, we'll just give you the money we'll just pay you whatever the day you lose." And I'm like, that's as much as I would want to do that. As much as I'd want to do that, but I need to keep that work ethic to be like, no, that's not how the real world works.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I would love for them to do that, I also need to be responsible as an adult to be like, I can't, and I want to be there, but you also have to be okay with me having to work because that's just how
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
But I chose to say, to change my overall scheduling because I didn't want to keep working weekends. I wanted to be able to do things and be able to go home and not have to put PTO in or, oh, am I going to have enough PTO, for the holidays? And I didn't want to use it, which is why I racked up 160 hours worth of PTO. But at the end of,
Should use that to go to Iceland
I know, right?
or Germany or whatever, wherever we want to go.
But that being said, though, once I made that change, that's where my mentality, my mentality has always been, when you need to work, you need to work. Does not matter where you work at.
Yeah.
You put 100% wherever it's at. But then the perception started turning when I turned into a sales manager, where everybody started thinking that, or at least I know some of the guys I used to work with, and possibly in the future, they just see me come in, they don't see what I do, and then I disappear, or I'm like randomly taking, I'm going to work from home. And they're like, well, we're out here busting our butts. Well, you're just out here. But
Yeah.
what they don't realize is if I don't do that,
You're just out here.
if I don't do that, they're not getting work.
Right.
If I'm
Yeah.
not doing my job, they're not getting work, which means
Right.
they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
But But to me, though, it's if you can make work easy and make it seem like you're not doing anything, then I feel like you're on the right track, because you're not stressing yourself to the point of, other than dealing with people, that's the only stress I deal with, other than needing to figure something out. You can almost make anything happen dealing with my industry, but it's dealing with the people and being able to tell them how something works.
Yes.
Frank knows. He knows how tough it is to be in this industry as far as being able to talk with people, especially dealing with money.
Yeah. It's the same with my industry too.
Yeah. And it feels like with any industry. Any industry. Yeah.
People always question pricing, and they're always on a budget, and you have to say, well, this is your option, or this is your option, or if you want it to look like this, you can't do it on that budget, but this is what I can do for that price if you want to stick within that budget.
Yeah.
I am also a salesperson in my job. Just
I feel like
I sell something different, but it's that.
I mean, essentially everybody's a salesperson,
Yeah.
just dependent on the situation.
Yeah.
But
Well, anybody in retail or, well, you're audiovisual. There's some that's not really. I guess you're a salesperson if you're a server. I'm going to sell the specials and stuff. But people come there to eat.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even then, you're still a salesperson regardless of.
Well, you're in customer service.
Yeah, that's
It's customer service.
Yeah, customer service, regardless of where you're working or who you're working with.
Yeah. As long as you're working with customers.
Yeah.
John
And-
doesn't work in customer service.
Well, technically, he still has to talk with manufacturers. He still has to talk with people. Either or, you're still.
That's more B2B though.
Yeah.
That's B2B sales and stuff. I
But
feel
it's
like
still-
closer to that.
But a manufacturer is still your client.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a vendor is still your client because you don't want to piss them off. Because then you cannot be their vendor anymore. Then you got to find somebody else.
Yeah.
Regardless, that customer service like thing has to be in there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And like, yeah, well, like Frank said, because you want to make all parties happy. Like you got to make your company happy, and you got to make your client
Exactly.
happy.
Yeah.
And that's where that customer
Yeah, you gotta
service
figure
end
that
is,
out.
be able to level it all out.
Yeah. You got to be
but-
able to balance it and present your expertise and explain to them why it is the way it is.
Yeah. And for me, it seems easy because it's like, because of what I've gone through in the past 8 years is what helped me get to the point where things seem easy to me.
Yeah.
Now, am I creative in this area? No.
No.
I'm
lucky I still get to be a little creative in my
very
My
kind
field.
of blanket, and I do when it comes to being creative to come up with ideas to make something happen. That's where I really shine in.
yeah.
Because I'm very good at being able to figure out problems or
Yeah.
figure out
It's problem solving.
coming out with or troubleshooting
Solutions and troubleshooting, yeah.
That's I guess what I was mainly
Yeah.
trying to get to. But
We got there.
like if a client were to come to me and like, oh, I want to do all this stuff, I'd be like, yeah, let me write this down. Let me talk to some people because I wouldn't. To me, like I can come up with stuff musically, creatively, but when it comes to like a visual portion, oh man, like even drawing, I still do stick figures because I can't draw worth anything. So visually, like to do something visual is beyond me. Although unless I do it myself, then I can do it. Then I can figure it out. But I can't tell other people how to do what I'm envisioning.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's a whole,
It's
it's a whole
difficult.
thing. Like,
To present your vision and to communicate your vision, you can't do that.
exactly like
Yeah.
the whole hot ones with Jenna Ortega, and she was talking about what's his name, Tim Burton,
Yeah.
and how he has to draw out his scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he needs to like make those intricate little changes on her hair or putting bushes or trees in certain shots because he's visualizing in his head, but he doesn't know how to tell somebody
Yeah, yeah.
what he wants. And that's exactly
Yeah, that's
the
why he draws
same
pictures,
thing.
yeah.
I'm that same way. I can't tell somebody how to do what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like my haircuts, I just tell them I want this, this, and this. But I can't tell them exactly how I want it to look because I don't know how to describe it. Maybe it's a descriptive thing that I don't
Yeah.
know, which is possible. But that's the thing when it comes down to like, my industry. I mean, at least for you, like yours has to be visual more than anything.
You wouldn't believe how many people sit in my chair and try to explain what they want. And I say, do you have a photo? And they say, nope. And so I have pulled out photos for people that don't have pictures. But then I've also done these last couple, I had a couple clients last week that didn't present me photos and just explain to me what they wanted. And I actually had to wing it. And it turned out fantastic both times. But I don't always get so lucky. I almost always turn to Pinterest and be like, well, if you don't have any inspo photos, let's find some.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, I want this, and then I want this. And then I'm like, there are people out there that think ashy is the opposite of what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And
which is fine. That's why pictures are important.
do you feel like when someone brings you something and you look at it and you're like, oh, this is easy, I can do it? Do you feel like you ever have any of those moments?
Well, yes, but in still growing in my career and learning, I always still want to dissect that photo and ask why that person likes that photo. Because sometimes I also get a group of photos from somebody that all look completely different. So it's like, okay, do you want to be all platinum or do you not? It's like, because you're showing me 5 different things and then it has been translated wrong.
Yeah.
And so it's like, then after that happens and I'm like, well, crap, I messed that up. I have to go back and remember what I did and make sure I don't miss those points next time in another consultation to avoid that mistake from happening again.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So
I have to over communicate to make sure I am getting the client exactly what they want. And then I have to over communicate if it's not possible.
yeah, and I feel like that's always been a tough thing to try and tell people. It's you never want to say no. You
I have said
always,
no though.
I mean,
I have straight up told somebody no.
Yeah.
I will not do it. But that's neither here nor there, and that doesn't happen that often. But
yeah, yeah, because in our industry, no is not necessarily an option, but it's always. I mean, they've always trained us to that you never say no to a client. You let them know that that idea is going to be very difficult, but to have a solution as an alternative.
yeah,
And I've done that plenty of times where they would want something, and I just tell them like, "Look, like this is not gonna work, but this will."
yeah, and that's where you, as the professional, come in. That's
Yeah.
that won't work, but this will.
But there's been times too where like you get into a rut, or I mean, not necessarily in myself. I mean, I always get into ruts. Don't get me wrong. I'm not to say that I always have the solution, but there'll be times where the team comes into a point of like a block, or oh, I don't know how this is going to work, or how are we going to do this, or how should we kind of set this or kind of run this. And they'll either call me or text me and say, hey, like this isn't working. And being that I've been in plenty of situations where things have been super tough as far as coming up with different ideas, how to really look at a situation and not first of all freak out, take a moment, take a breath, and then be able to be like, okay, this is what we need to do, this is what needs to happen, this is what needs to get done. But I usually am able to kind of visually see the space, see how it's supposed to be, and then say, okay, what we're going to do is you're going to do this, and then you're going to do that, and then just essentially just kind of give them that thing, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, that will work.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't. And they'll tell me like, well, we can't do that because of this, or we
Right.
can't do that because of that. And then you have to be ready for that other side of that to be on the other side of that fence, to be ready to jump the next one.
Right.
So it's always tough to say no, but it's even tougher to find a solution that will work, that won't piss them off.
Right.
Make it more expensive, or
Yeah.
make things more difficult.
Yeah.
And usually a lot of it is dealing with like either tight turns or equipment that's way out of their budget, but they want to do something specific, and you have to think of different solutions. Like there was one time I had a group, this was before the pandemic, they wanted to do a video and a presentation. Well, I told them, well, we need this, we need 2 laptops, we need this piece of equipment so we can have both and have it ready. And they're like, we don't have that in the budget. Is there anything we can do? And I said, I do have a really good solution. And I was like, check this out. And till this day, they ended up coming back the following year, and the lady remembered that trick, and now she's used it everywhere.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's essentially the command tab where you change applications.
Oh, yeah.
Either on Windows or Apple. So what I did is I told her, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be a very easy and a very fast transition. But to make it fast, you got to do it quick. And she's like, okay. I'm like, so look, we're going to get the video up. It's all up. Okay. And we're going to do that little quick jump, and it'll go back to the slide. And when you're ready for the video, you just do the jump and push play. It'll play. Once it's done, hit it back, and it'll go back to presentation.
Yeah, you just gotta do that little.
It's not going to look pretty as far as it like kind of fading in and out.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a quick switch, and you don't have to worry about it. And I went in and checked in with her, and she was like, that thing, that little shortcut worked. And she was like, it was perfect. She's like, I want to remember that. And she came back and she was like, yeah, I still use that trick.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
good.
overall, yeah, losing money, yeah. But is the person.
Long term,
you're
though,
working-
she'll keep coming back and she'll appreciate you and she'll remember you.
Exactly. There was one before. I know we're running out of time. Before, when I started working at the Omni, there was a client that showed up, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's you! Like I haven't seen you forever." And I'm like, "I don't remember you."
Oh, yeah. I love it when that happens.
And she's like, mind you, the director of sales of catering was there. The hotel seller was there. A bunch of people were there. Like people higher than me. And she ran up and gave me a hug and didn't remember the venue seller's name.
Oh my gosh, that's
Sorry,
funny.
Jen, if you ever watch this in the future. But yeah, I'm like,
That's
dude,
so funny.
I'm like, that's hilarious. And she's like, wow, okay. She can't even remember my name, but Ramir over here comes and gets a hug. Like, I was like, and I told her, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't remember her until it took some time for me to be
Yeah.
like, I know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
now. So
That's
but-
funny.
it's all in I guess the overall statement of this part of the topic, whether you're to the brand or to the company or to the people, I feel like
It depends.
Depends. I guess it does depend, really.
Everybody's different. It depends.
Yeah. But
All right.
yeah, that I think that's it. You know.
You're going to call it. Get back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you are. I go back Tuesday.
Yeah, gotta get back to the old thing. But
Don't
thank
forget
you
to like
guys.
and subscribe and stuff. And we also made merch. There's a link to that a couple posts back.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Just
that.
has our logo on it. I'm going to order some so that way you guys can see it. So, yeah. And listen to the replays on Spotify. Please subscribe on YouTube as well. We're trying to work on growing over there. So, yeah. Have a good Sunday. Thanks for joining us. You guys are great.
Yeah, and send us your ideas. Send us any topics you'd like to talk about that we haven't spoken of, or if you want to recap something that we did talk about, but there's something else we didn't catch up on. Or the one thing I really like is when people correct us when we don't do something right, or we talk about something and it's not correct.
Yeah.
It's always
I'm
good
sure
to
I'm
learn.
wrong all the time. So,
It's always
bye,
good to learn
Bonsai.
things.
Say bye, Bonsai.
But yeah, thank you guys again. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.